Good morning and welcome to Travels with Sheila. It is May 25th, and as I'm sure you have read, Europe is reopening for Americans, but there's a lot that you have to know about. Today, Steve and I are flying Chicago to Washington Dulles to Frankfurt, all on United Airlines, and then Croatian Airlines to Zagreb. But before we get into what you must know, some shout outs to all my Davids, all my James, Chris, Raphael, Eddie, and Tom. Thanks so much for all your views. If you are planning on Croatia, this is what you have to know and what you have to do. But after I tell you all this, please go on the Croatian government website up until the day before you leave, because they change the requirements almost on a weekly basis. For example, as of right now, you either have to have a negative COVID test taken 48 hours before your flight arrives in Croatia, or have taken one of the vaccines 2 weeks before you leave, or have had COVID and can show proof that you've recovered, or take a PCR test when you arrive in Croatia and then isolate until it's negative, which could be 24 to 48 hours depending upon your test. But we're not done yet. You also have to go on the Croatian government website, of which there are many links, fill out a 2-page form, for us, upload our vaccine certificates, enter passport information, the dates, and you also have to have prepaid your accommodation in Croatia. When I first started doing all this paperwork, like 4 days ago, I had to prepay all my hotels. Of course, 24 hours before we're supposed to leave, the government changed the rules, and now you only have to prepay your first hotel. But we're all prepaid up. So you do that, you have to prepay everything, you have to fill out your government form, you have to take care of the COVID stuff, and then of course on the way back, we're going to have to take either the PCR or the antigen test before we fly back to the U.S. There's a lot to figure in. Now, to the 1Ks and globals and all my other frequent flyers who are watching this, you may wonder why we're flying Chicago to Dulles to Frankfurt when we could have flown nonstop Chicago to Frankfurt. And that's because even though it was a legal connection between our United flight and Croatian Airlines, it gave us like 50 minutes, and that made me very, very nervous. So I figured out I'd rather go through Dulles, get into Frankfurt earlier, because there's all kinds of rigmarole as far as being in transit in Germany. Also, Germany is not open yet for Americans to visit, so I just wanted that little bit of leeway. Also, United will be flying to Croatia nonstop from Newark beginning July 1st. A little too late for us, but what can you do? And the nonstop flight is only to Dubrovnik, and been there and done it a couple times. We are going to visit Zagreb, Zadar, I hope I'm pronouncing this properly, Zibenek or Šibenik. It's Sibenik. I'll be more educated once I get there and find out how to pronounce everything, and end up in Split, which I am crazy about Split. We spent 4 days in Split once before, and I just love walking through that town, which is basically Diocletian's palace, his retirement palace. Our plus points cleared on the international section, so we are in business class, and I think it is... oh God, I don't remember what are we flying. It's a Dreamliner 10. Please come with us. It's going to be a great trip. I am so excited to fly back to Europe. It's going to be the first of, I hope, many trips in the upcoming months, and I hope everybody is healthy, well, that you've gotten your vaccinations, so you too can get on board and start exploring the world again. Very best to you. Thanks for your views and your comments. Ciao.